Hey, you want to see something really scary?
What's your favorite scary movie?
I'm gonna scare the hell out of you.
What was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk here.
What's blood for, if not for shedding?
Welcome to Fright Night.
Welcome back to Jump Scare. I'm Betty.
And I'm Shad. And as you can tell, we are both sick, but we're struggling to make it through.
Sickcast. That's the new name of the podcast. This week, we watched Hard Eyes.
You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You'd be like heaven to touch. You're just too good to be true.
For the past 2 years, a masked maniac known as the Hard Eyes Killer has stalked,
hunted,
And brutally slain couples on Valentine's Day.
With no motive yet uncovered.
This is more than just murder. He's like Cupid with a kink.
We're being chased by a fucking serial killer.
Hey, you good?
Yeah. He's gonna keep killing people. We end it here.
Hey, come on.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy V-Day!
Get killed, all right?
What was...
Why would he say that?
So, obviously, it is the week of Valentine's Day. And this is the perfect movie to watch. We did mention a few podcasts ago that we thought it'd be a great idea for someone to do a romantic comedy or a Hallmark movie, but slasher. And here we are. That's literally what this is, and they did it so well. We have Christopher Landon. This is the point where I'm gonna need to clear my throat a lot and do a lot of things because I can barely get through.
And you know him from the Happy Death Day movies?
Yes, well, and a bunch of other movies, but yes, Christopher Landon and Michael Kennedy, who both wrote Freaky. They're back with another individual named Philip Murphy. They all wrote this film, Hard Eyes. And we have Josh Rubin directing. And we've seen he did that Scare Me that came out like in 2020.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, so I think...
He did Werewolves Within, too, right?
And Werewolves Within, yeah. So this is like third feature. I would say second feature, even though the first one was a feature, but fine, third feature. And the cast is recognizable to some and many. I'm just going to right off the bat and just throw the most. I'm going to go from order of, for me.
All right, let's hear it.
Devon Sawa, guys, is back. And I love to see a resurgence, okay? We obviously have got Devon Sawa in the Chucky TV show.
Yes.
And
I love how they just keep killing him off every season, and then the new season bringing him back as another character.
Yes, that is, which is like, I don't know, like, is that like a Final Destination thing? Because, you know, Final Destination, he dies, and, you know, well, he doesn't come back, but he's getting
murdered,
resurrected in this Chucky series. He's Detective Hobbs. You have Jordina Brewster, who's Detective Shaw.
Get it? Hobbs and Shaw, just like the movie.
Fast and the Furious.
Yes, she was in the Fast and the Furious.
And all of them.
These are the jokes, folks.
Olivia Holt, which many viewers may know her from, she got her start for Cruel Summer, and she was in Totally Killer. She's Allie. She's the lead. Mason Gooding, which is Cuba Gooding Jr.'s son. That's crazy.
Yeah. I'm now old enough to have seen Cuba Gooding Jr. be popular, and now his son.
Okay. Jay. And personal favorite of mine, Michelle Watkins, who plays Crystal, who's Allie's boss. I enjoy her thoroughly in everything that she does. She's a comedian. She used to be in SNL back in the 2008, 2009. And she was in that, the Unicorn TV show with Walter Goggins.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she was on that show with him, and we all love Walter Goggins, so she's hilarious. And anytime I see her, I know there's going to be shenanigans afoot. Like, she's always going to be a fucking crazy woman. And she pulls it off perfectly. So, the film, I didn't know what to expect. It's a slasher, obviously. Fell in love with the trailer, the mask. It's always the mask. You have to have good horror movie has to have a good mask.
Yeah, if you're gonna have a slasher, a guy in the Lone Ranger mask just doesn't do it. You gotta have something really cool.
Yeah, and this is awesome. Okay, it's very unique. I love that it has some purpose, which no mask actually that I can think of off the top of my head has purpose. This one does have a purpose when it needs to, and you know, it's Christopher Landon and friends. They, you know, grew up watching these slashers. They love them. They're within the horror genre. They've done plenty of films. Christopher Landon, he's done a lot of films now, and he understands the genre and what a slasher should have. And there's a lot of kills in here, and even where the kills are, like the kill in the van is very reminiscent to me, and the kill in the van in like the Prom movie with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Prom Night.
I couldn't remember like what Prom.
The Prom movie with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Look, guys, I'm gonna let's just throw this on the fucking table. This is gonna be a discombobulated cast, okay? We can't breathe. Our brains are fucking scrambled. I don't even know my name. Did I say my name at the beginning of the cast?
You did.
Okay, I got that right. Woo, check. So it really is. You just gotta bear with us, okay? Because we really, really enjoyed this movie. We really want to discuss it, and we're just pushing ourselves to the bounds, okay, to get this accomplished. So there's gonna be a lot of fuckery, okay? Let's just be clear. So now that we're over that, the film. Very slasher-esque. Like, the prom night, the van, obviously, anything in a van, that's very 70s, 80s kills, right? There's so many kills in the van. The way that, you know, he's going around town. What I do like about this is, you think right off the bat from the trailer, this is like any other slasher. It's a town. People are being terrorized. And, you know, you have the main people that have to live it out to the end of the night. They have to make it through. The difference in this one is he's fucking a traveler. He's not just killed in one town. This is not something that's just taking place. There's a history. He is in all the states, just here and there, murdering every Valentine's Day. He's taking out couples. That's his thing, you know? And that was very unique.
Yeah. Another thing I liked about this one was that it wasn't just the one weapon slasher. Like, he's not, I use an axe. I use a knife. He brought a plethora of different weapons with him.
This fucker had a utility belt. Okay,
Yeah.
he even had weapons that had hearts on them. So he wanted to be a little trendy.
Yeah.
He was on trend with his brand of being heart eyes killer, and he had hearts everywhere.
Yep.
I loved every single kill. They're fucking gruesome. Like they're very bloody. There's not going to be one that's just going to be like, oh, a slit throat and then the body just drops. It's a lot. There's a lot going on. And you kind of see the kill the year before. Right?
No, this is the same
year. It is the
Yeah.
same year. Yeah. They just do like the montage of like all the
Yeah.
different, all the places he's been.
Yeah.
How many cities he's gone after. Now he's in Seattle, I believe. And that takes place the most cringe opening to a film, I feel like, goes to this film.
Yeah, where there's people, the people you see in restaurants and the mall and places that you just want to slap the shit out of them because they all spend 35 minutes taking pictures of their food before they eat it and then complain that it's cold. These are the people at the beginning of the movie.
Yes. And also, I mean, I hate to throw a whole generation of people out there, but it is the younger-esque, and I hate to say younger, but it is that generation of people that are like, we have to, everything is just set up. They're not living in the moment. It's all a facade. They have to have someone filming them from far away and taking the pictures while he's stating, he's telling her how much he loves her and proposing to her, but it's all scripted because she wrote it and she literally is verbatim saying it like under her breath as he's saying it to her. It's all just so staged and it doesn't feel real. It's like, okay, is this a fake marriage that you're going into? Because how do you live with yourself that you had to write the proposal?
Yeah.
Like, come on, just so it's perfect. So you can put it on social media, which is like that whole lie of a life, that so many people have out there. But it was perfect because it was like, this shit is real. There are people like this in the world, and now we're gonna see someone murder them. That sounded really terrible, but it was really hilarious. And it's like in a vineyard, in a wine tasting place. So the kill was just so unique. So then we go into the main character, Allie. And, she's at a coffee shop with her friend. And it's one of those, she's completely obsessed with her ex. She's constantly checking, the Instagram and, the social media because they're constantly posting because it's Valentine's Day. And, even though you later find out that she's the one that broke up with him, she's still hung up over it for some reason because he just found someone so fast. And
how dare he?
And she's just not about it. And also she's very nervous about this upcoming there was a call meeting, a meeting that Crystal, Michelle Watkins' character has everyone come in because she's part of a campaign, a marketer.
Yeah.
And they did an ad and they want everyone to come in because they want to discuss it. And she's like, oh, it's not going to be a good thing. It's her. She's the one that spearheaded. This is her ad, her idea. And while the midst of all this is happening and they're waiting for their coffee, she gets her coffee and, she grabs it.
There's a meet cute.
Yes, there's a meet cute. And then there's a very small, interaction, but enough for her to get all smiley and he's smiley. And then they go off, their day starts. Now, back at the office, you see the ad that she's worried about. They show it, and it is very cringy. It's like, oh, I don't know why anyone signed off on that. That was not a good idea. Because it's basically they're trying to sell a ring, a jeweler, and it's scenes of every couple that has had a tragic end, like Romeo and Juliet and Bonnie and Clyde and the Titanic.
Yeah.
And it's just really, really terrible. It's just not bad taste, especially because Hard Eyes just killed someone literally earlier that day, and maybe it's not a good idea for this company to come out with, say, hey, buy our jewelry, and it's all about death, you know. So that doesn't go well. And you find out that the Crystal has had someone come in from another agency, a freelancer, and that person happens to be the person, Jay, who is the guy from the Meet Cute. So you have them go into like some, you know, he asked her to dinner later on, and then here they are later on in the evening. They have dinner and they go over and they discuss, you know, things, life. He's trying to get to know her. He's very suave. She's not about it. She's very put off. She's very standoffish. She's still obsessing over the boyfriend, checking, you know, the social media, you know, seeing all their posts. And they kind of get into it a little bit, and he leaves the restaurant. Jay leaves the restaurant, and when she rushes out to apologize, she sees from her POV, because the audience doesn't see it yet, or for her POV, she sees something, and she grabs Jay and kisses him right there in the middle of the street. Oh, but no, who's watching them? It's Hard Eyes. Hard Eyes is watching them. And the couple, the reason why she kissed him is because who's standing in front of her? Her ex and the new girlfriend, who were friends with the people that died earlier at the vineyard.
Yeah.
They were all supposed to have like a double date, and they decided to move forward with the double date anyways without them, even though their friends just died. So you know what kind of people those are. Just as superficial as their friends. And yeah, then there's that weird interaction. But my favorite part, well, one of my favorite parts in the movie is when they go back to her place. Something happens and he just ends up back at her place. And that whole interaction, I think, is hilarious because it's so real. She's a single woman. She's busy, obviously. She's, you know, it seems she's been working on this campaign. Her apartment is just upside down. There's just clothes everywhere. She obviously was not expecting any kind of guests. And, you know, they have to end up in her bedroom. There's nowhere to sit. In the living room area, and she
makes a comment at one point, just have a seat and something, and he looks around, there's literally every piece of furniture has clothes on it.
Yeah, and so what didn't have clothes was her bed, so he hops in, he sits on there, and then she's like looking for him, and like, oh, there he is in my bed, because that was the only place that didn't have clothes. The beauty of this film is that it feels like a rom-com. It's not to the extent where it's like, it's very cute, but not too cutesy, where you just want to vomit everywhere. It has its comedic moments. While all that's going on, obviously you forget the interaction between Jay and Allie is so genuine that you forget that you're watching a horror movie for a moment. I mean, I did, until the fucking killer pops out, and you're like, oh shit, that's right, there's a killer about. And I thought that was genius. It's great writing on their part.
Yeah, they did a good job with it. It's really... Because if you didn't see the beginning of it and were just watching it without knowing what was going on, you would just assume it was a romantic comedy.
For sure. 100%. And they freaking accomplished that big time. It's a perfect film for Valentine's Day. Galentine's Day, go see it with your girlfriends. Valentine's Day, go see it with whoever you're, you know, with. I think this is actually the best Valentine's Day movie, horror movie that has been made so far. I'm going to throw that out there. And that's a very strong statement from me because I love My Bloody Valentine. That is my favorite, the original. That is my favorite film. One of my favorite holiday films. And you know, and that obviously is just 100% slasher. There's not really, and whatever love there is in the movie is very drama. It's very dramatic, you know. It's not a romantic comedy. You know, this is a whole other, like, film, Hard Eyes. But the reason why The Room gets me is her dildo's just on the stand, because it's her fucking bedroom, and she's gonna have a dildo, and it's like a massive dildo. It's like, I was like, what is this? What else does this do? Because there's so many different... there's so many appendages. I don't know. And she's trying to hide it from him. She grabs it, puts it behind her back, and is walking backwards to her closet. And when she turns around and puts it in front of her so she can put it in her closet, oh shit, that's where Hard Eyes is. And she throws it at him. And that was the fucking best. And then it's like vibrating. It was just very funny. Very, very funny, I have to say. But you have the couple just going around the whole town just trying to survive. Now, we're going to do something that we've never done before. We are going to have a second part to our podcast, and this part is the spoiler part of our podcast. So, if you do not want to hear any spoilers about the film, stop right as soon as you hear we're going to have a little break. Just stop there at the break, and thank you so much for joining us. Stay tuned to the horror.
And we're back.
Now, let's talk about our favorite kills and the rest of the film.
Yeah, I think probably my favorite is one of the ones you see on the trailer, actually, where he kills the hippies in the van, where it's just smashing them into the tire tool.
It is a good kill.
Yeah, that's a good one. It reminds me a little bit, because you got like the shot from Texas Chainsaw of like the hole in the head and everything. It's a little bit like that. I like that homage. I did like there's a kill where they shove the woman into the like wine extractor, like smashing the grapes.
Yes.
She gets her head smashed in that. That was a pretty good one. And like I said before, I like the fact that he carries multiple weapons. He's carrying machetes, knives, little darts he's throwing at people. He's got a crossbow type thing. It's not exactly a crossbow. It's like a harpoon gun, kind of. Yeah, he's got a lot of weapons. I enjoyed that.
I like the Cupid kills.
Oh, when he's firing like the little gun.
He's firing the little gun that has the bows, and at the end it's red.
Yeah.
I like the arrow and like bow and arrow like kills. Because it's classic Valentine's, right?
Yeah.
And I don't remember if in the movie Valentine with David Boreanaz, I forgot how I don't think he kills anyone like that.
No, he kills them in a bunch of different ways. It's all just your standard slasher stuff.
Yeah. And I really enjoy that film. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it's a fun movie.
But I really like that he takes them out with the whole bow and arrow thing. That's pretty neat. I don't have a specific kill that I like. He has specific kills, like the ones you just said, and then he has just regular kills where he's just stabbing people. There's one part of the film where it's like a smorgasbord for him. There's just so many different, people that he can kill. Happy couples, and he just goes on a rampage, just killing everyone. Anyone that gets in his way, he's just killing them. So, which they did make a point earlier in the movie to state that it's just not couples he kills. If you get in his way, he's also going to kill you.
Yeah.
So they kind of already set that up. Now, the killer. So I agree with what you said about the killer. So we have Allie and Jay. They obviously have to have the showdown with the killer. And they go through it. They win. They pull off the mask.
And it's just this guy.
And it's a guy.
You've never seen him before. You don't know who he is. And I kind of wish they had just stopped it there.
Yeah. To be fair, they were not going to know who the killer is. This is a killer that has traveled all over the United States. It's not going to be a any kind of relation to them, someone they know.
It shouldn't have turned out to be her boss or, oh my God, that's my cousin. No.
Yeah, it's not a Scooby-Doo like, oh, it's Old Man Chambers. No, it's not anything like that. It's just a random dude. Okay, great. Random dude. Then the movie should have just... I'm kind of like, should have ended there or should have continued. I was okay if it ended there.
Yeah, they could have ended it there and gone on and done a little bit more. It could have had the same kind of ending it did with just that guy. It would have been just as effective.
Yes. But alas.
Yeah, but it's Scream syndrome.
Yes.
You always have to have more than one killer now in the slasher.
And this reminds me of the last Scream. You find out that one of the killers is the cop, Jordana Brewster. She is the killer, one of the killers. And her boyfriend, this is their kink. And he's an IT guy, which we do see him midway in the film when Allie ends up at the police station with Jay. And because obviously, just to throw off the scent and just discombobulate the whole thing, they kind of frame, Jordana Brewster frames the boyfriend, I'm sorry, not her boyfriend, Jay, the cute meat guy, frames him by throwing the mask and the weapon down by him because he was knocked unconscious. And Allie, of course, the audience knows that's not true because there's no way that he was going to be fighting himself. Hello. Yeah. Allie knows it's not true because she saw that there was two different people there. But the cops are like, this is Devin Sawa. Hobbs and Shaw are like, no, we're retaining him for questioning, and that's what's happening. So, and earlier at the vineyard, there was a random ring that not belong to either person that has the initials JS, which coincidentally happens to be, Jay's initials.
Yeah.
So...
And it also happens to be Shaw's initials.
Wink. Yes. Not wink, because we're saying that she's a killer, but... So you have the IT guy, which is her boyfriend, her, and random guy. They just found on some app that was into the kink, and he decided to be in their throuple and help them with the killings.
Yeah.
So, now, they're like in I want to say an abandoned church, but in some small like church, and there happens, was it a statue of Valentine?
Yes.
That was my favorite part, was the kill on the statue. And I loved all the candles everywhere. There was something about, the scene, like the setting that I really enjoyed with the whole having them meet there and, the reveal. Because
that was kind of what I didn't like on the reveal of it either. That like she was so over the top, like she's just dry humping everything in the church and licking knives and like, oh yeah, I'm into murder. Blah, blah, blah. She's just she's at an 11 the whole time.
It was a little much.
They could have dialed it down a little bit.
They could have dialed it down, but off the top of your head, think of a slasher where the girl is the killer.
Yeah, I know they wanted to play it up, but it's just...
They played it up too much.
Yeah.
I appreciate that it wasn't, obviously there was men involved, but it was a guy and a girl. Cool, like fine. And also that happened in the last Scream. It was a cop, McDreamy, and his kids were the ones that were going after. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen that movie. The last Scream. It's a double spoiler. But that's the similarity I didn't care for. This whole part on the end could have been removed. But at the same time, it is what it is. I don't feel like, oh, the movie's fucked now. I hate the movie because I didn't, particularly was 100% about the ending. But all in all, it was fine. I was able to move past the whole thing because you are not going to get the resolution you want with the couple. You want them to be a couple. You want them to get together. And they were not going to get together the way that it ended, the film ended. I mean, I guess if they would have taken that whole chunk part out and then just played the 1 year later where they're at the drive-in, I guess they could have done that.
But yeah, I don't know. It just seemed a little forced to try to make it the throuple and to try, like I said, she played it so over the top. That's my biggest criticism about it.
And then the IT guy, like, I love the way that they were killed. I love the way they were killed. So if you get more kills with that, and as Shad, from the second time they showed this damn environmental straw that Allie had or carries around all the time, one of those metal straws, Shad's like, this straw's gonna come into play later. It sure did.
Yeah. Because they don't bother you. That's something someone pointed out about the Wolfman movie. I heard someone else talking about it and said they made a point at the beginning of Wolfman to mention those death-capped mushrooms. They spent a 5-minute scene explaining how poisonous those were and you should never touch them or eat them or get around them. And they never came into play. So what was the point in having that scene in the movie?
They really wanted to talk about the mushrooms, man.
Apparently. But like I said, anytime in a slasher movie, usually when you see someone like, oh, hey, you forgot your ring that has a sharp point on it. Oh, I should probably keep that in my pocket. That will come in handy later. There should just be like an arrow that flashes that was like plot point, plot point, plot point.
The straw was the plot point.
Yep.
It saved our life.
Well, because
we all knew it was going to.
There was a whole thing a few years ago, I remember, about those metal straws, and they were saying don't give them to children because children can be running with them and, you know, slip and fall. They stab themselves and then they just bleed out through the straw because a plastic straw obviously won't stab through your throat or anything like that, but the metal straw will.
I take back what I said earlier before we got into the spoiler part of the cast. So now the people that didn't move forward are not going to know this portion. My favorite kill is actually Georgina Brewster's death.
Oh.
I liked her death because the whole, like, she gets pushed into the Valentine statue, which has the
sword.
Arrow, the sword out, and the sword out, and at first I'm like, oh shit, she got punctured, like she's up, you know, oh damn, but the way
she was up kind of on her toes, so it just kind of slowly pulls her apart.
Yes, and it's fantastic because you have, like, at one point the two heads are on there dangling, and then her head just falls off and rolls onto the floor. It was great. There was so much blood. My gosh, there was so much blood.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long time cleaning that place up.
Yeah, which they mentioned that Allie didn't become a doctor or she didn't go into the medical profession because she couldn't stand blood. She couldn't stand blood. So,
which there is a great scene where when they kill the first guy that's Hard Eyes, and he ends up stabbed, and she sees all the blood, she just throws up on him.
Oh, that part was fucking
just
classic.
Fucking throws up on the corpse, and
because you've never seen that. When have you ever seen someone react like that? Which is a normal reaction. First of all the adrenaline, all the everything you're feeling, and then you kill someone. That's not a normal thing that you do every day.
Yeah.
Like, then you kill someone, and then it's just like and then the mix of the fear of the blood. It's like, oh my god, she had the most natural, and it's disgusting. It reminded me of in the Garbage Pail Kids movie.
Oh Lord.
Yes, I'm taking it back to the Garbage Pail Kids. When one of the Garbage Pail Kids vomits like that, is just a projectile like vomit. It looks slimy too. It was amazing. I loved it. It was really fucking disgusting. It was really disgusting. I may or may not have rushed home to take a shower right after the film because there was just so much bile, there was all different kinds of bodily, like the blood and the vomit, and there's just massive amounts. I mean, hot darn. The kill in the vineyard, the winery.
Oh yeah.
She gets exploded in the whatever the hell that thing is.
Yeah, she just got turned into.
I guess where they crushed the grapes.
Was, the grape crushers I was talking about earlier. She gets turned into Chateau Jennifer 2025.
Yeah, we're gonna call her Timberly because she looks like a fucking Timberly. Which I just literally made this fucking name up, and God, I hope there's no one named Timberly in the world because that's just a terrible name. But yes, this concludes our episode. We had a little spoiler part.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this one I'm gonna say it's a 3.5 knifer. I'm taking a half knife away for the annoying thing we talked about earlier.
The stupid killers. Yes. I also will give it 3.5 knives. Yes, we are finally seeing eye to eye. Is it because we love each other and this is a love cast? This is no, it's not.
No, it's just a good movie.
No, okay. Burn. Well, I hope you enjoy this week and the Galentine/Valentine's week. Go out and check this film out. It's definitely worth a view. And stay tuned to the horror and the love of horror.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.